Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we are heading out on a quest for a really special kind of treasure. Now, this isn't the kind you find buried in a chest or hidden away in some secret cave. No, this treasure actually grows on trees. So, what are we talking about? Let's find out. Alright, just a quick heads up before we start our adventure. This is all about having some fun while we learn. Now, where were we? Oh yeah, treasure. So I want you to just imagine for a second. What if you could wander into a forest and find actual treasure just waiting for you on a tree? Sounds like something from a storybook, doesn't it? Well, guess what? It's totally real. Up in Canada, this sweet, sticky treasure is so precious that people have a nickname for it, liquid gold. And we're talking about, you guessed it, maple syrup. They call it that because of its beautiful golden color and, well, because it's so incredibly valuable. You know, maple syrup is a huge deal in Canada. It's way more than just something you drizzle on your pancakes. That leaf on the Canadian flag, yep, that's a maple leaf. It stands for the country's amazing nature and its history. And it was the Indigenous peoples of North America who were the very first to figure out how to make this incredible treat. And get this, when it comes to maple syrup, Canada is the undisputed world champion. They make somewhere around 75% of the entire world's supply. And most of that comes from just one province, Quebec. Wow! So the big question is, how on earth does a tree make something so delicious? It feels like it should be magic. And honestly, it's pretty close. Let's pull back the curtain and uncover the tree's secret recipe. You see, this is actually a year-round job for the tree. All summer long, those maple leaves are like little solar-powered sugar factories, making food from sunlight. Then the tree stores all that sugary energy down in its roots to survive the cold winter. And when spring finally shows up, that stored sugar mixes with water from the ground, creating this slightly sweet liquid we call sap, which then starts moving all through the tree. But here's the secret ingredient, the really important part. The sap doesn't just flow whenever it feels like it. It needs very specific weather, something called the freeze-thaw cycle. You absolutely need cold, freezing nights followed by warmer, sunny days. That change in temperature creates pressure inside the tree that works just like a pump, pushing that sap up and down the trunk. And that's when farmers spring into action. They carefully drill a tiny hole into the tree and put in a little spout called a spile. And then drip by drip by drip, the watery sap starts to flow out. It's collected either in old school buckets or these days through this huge network of plastic tubes that crisscross the forest like a giant spider web. Okay, get ready for this, because this number really shows you how much work goes into every single bottle of syrup. You need a ton of sap. I mean, we're talking about 40 liters of it. To put that in perspective, that's like 40 of those big cartons of milk. And all of that watery sap has to be boiled for hours and hours to let the water escape a steam. And after all that, you're left with 1 single liter of that thick, sweet golden maple syrup. It's a 40-to-1 ratio. No wonder this stuff is so precious. Now, because it's so valuable, you probably won't be surprised to hear that someone once tried to steal a whole lot of it. Get ready for a wild and a very sticky true crime story. Okay, first you have to understand, Canada does not mess around when it comes to maple syrup. They have a thing called the Strategic Reserve. Think of it like a giant treasure vault, a Fort Knox, but filled with millions and millions of dollars worth of maple syrup barrels. It's basically a syrup bank, making sure the price stays stable and there's always enough to go around. So here's what went down. Over several months, a group of thieves managed to sneak into the reserve. They would truck the full barrels away to a secret spot, drain out all that valuable syrup, and then, get this, they'd fill the empty barrels back up with water and sneak them back into the warehouse to hide the crime. The whole scam was only discovered when an inspector climbed up a huge stack of barrels and almost fell off because one of them was way too light. And how much did they actually get away with? They stole nearly 3,000 tons of syrup. The total value? A mind-blowing $18.7 million. It was one of the biggest heists in Canadian history. It really truly is liquid gold. Alright, now that we know just how valuable the real stuff is, let's talk about how you can spot the real treasure from all the fakes and imposters you might see on the grocery store shelf. Okay, so here's the number one thing you need to know. Real maple syrup has just one single ingredient, pure concentrated maple sap. That's it. It is a total gift from nature. That other stuff, the kind often called table syrup or pancake syrup, that's not maple syrup at all. It's usually just corn syrup with a bunch of artificial colors and flavors added in the lab to make it taste sweet. What's really cool is that even pure maple syrup changes during the season. The syrup made at the very beginning is usually a light, beautiful golden color and has a really delicate flavor. But as the weeks pass, the syrup gets darker and more amber colored, and the taste gets much stronger and more robust, almost like caramel. They're both amazing, just different. Okay, so we know it's natural, we know it's delicious, but is this liquid gold actually a healthy treat? Come on, let's find out. Well, the answer is yeah, in moderation it is. Real maple syrup is packed with things called antioxidants that help protect our bodies. It also has key minerals like manganese, which is great for our bones, and zinc, which helps keep our immune system strong. Just remember, it is still a type of sugar, so a little bit definitely goes a long way. And please, don't just save it for breakfast. Pure maple syrup is an incredible ingredient for cooking. You can use it as a glaze on salmon. You can slather it on ribs before you put them on the grill. Or you can use it to sweeten up your favorite desserts. I mean, the possibilities are pretty much endless. So the next time you pick up that bottle of maple syrup, just take a second to think about its amazing journey. It's a sweet gift from a maple tree that could easily be 40 years old or even older, and is part of a tradition that goes back for centuries. It's so much more than just a topping. Hey, if you had fun on our sweet treasure hunt today, help us share the gold by hitting that like button. Maybe share this with a friend, and definitely subscribe for more awesome adventures and learning. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. And until we meet again, stay sweet.